Alright boys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. We are here with episode 39 of our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode, and if you missed out on the last one, we hit free agency where there are some controversies in the comments, but we also started up the season where we lost 5-4 to Dallas, so we're 0-1 on the season so far. Our lines so far, they look pretty good. I mean, not as good as teams we've had in the past. I think it's definitely a step back in my opinion. Guys like Nikolai Ehlers who aren't really doing too much. There's a couple of scratched players who we're not sure about. Defensively, we look the weakest we have in a very long time, but I still hold out hope that this team can get something done, maybe fight for a wild card spot or something like that. We've got Wallstead in the net who, oh my God, look at those numbers. That looks crazy. Holy smokes, that looks insane. Okay, but either way, we're going to get to this video. We are going to get to the trade deadline. Actually, probably not. We're just going to get to halfway through the season because there's a lot of comments that I have to go through. So let's start it off. First up, we've got Ryan who says, I say we wait and see how the team performs and make the trade at the deadline if we need it. He's talking about the 1-for-1 deal with Joel Shepherd and Will Hoffman. Great episode as always. Thank you very much for your thoughts, Ryan. So he thinks that, we make the trade at the deadline if we need a little boost, maybe trading away Joel Shepherd for Will Hoffman and seeing how Joel Shepherd performs throughout the season. I like it. That's kind of what I'm thinking as well. Now, Alex, he's got a couple of comments here. We'll start it off with the overview. That Chernock send-off, though. Get out of here. Bye, bye, bye. Then the Ehlers bait switch send-off followed by a Kyle Connor. Rest in peace, my friend. I mean, you're not dead, but... And then lastly, did Morrissey win the Vezina with us? Yeah, I meant to say the Norris, but commentating for a couple of hours gets to you sometimes. Genuinely hilarious episode. Thank you. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Alex. Lots of thoughts on the offseason moves, some positive, some negative, and we'll try to sum it up all ASAP. And he definitely did sum this up quite nicely for us, so let's get to his first comment. Number one, regardless of his asking price, we should have cut bait with Ehlers and moved on from the old guard. It's not too late to let him join Connor and Morrissey, in my opinion, and that might be something we do at the end of this episode. He has no purpose on the team anymore, similar to Scheifele in his last couple of years, and he's not getting power play time. He's not fast or defensive minded. He's not that big, and he's not really the type of bottom six player that we need. I'd move him for a seventh 4 years down the road to allow him to go play with one of his lifelong buddies, and that could be something that we do. Number two, Othman and Faber were great pickups since they fill the roster needs. The rest, we'll get into that with the last points. So number three here, the Kennedy contract is going to hurt us so bad. We really shouldn't bridge core players anymore moving forward, or at least if we absolutely must bridge them, let it be for 1 to 2 years so that they can be extended ASAP. So let me tell you guys my thoughts about the Kennedy contract. Basically, the reason why we gave Kennedy like a 4-year deal instead of an 8-year deal was because we didn't know what type of player he was. There are times when there are 88 overall players who get like 50, 60 points max. We had no idea what type of a player he was going to be. We picked him up from Buffalo when his career high was, hang on, let me just make sure. His career high was like in the 50s or something like that. I know he was a young player, but still, he didn't have an exactly thriving season with Buffalo, or really any thriving seasons with Buffalo. Where is he here? So yeah, with Buffalo, his career high was 47 points. So we had no idea what we were going to get with him. Yeah, then he scores 90 with us, but that's after a year where he only had 52, right? So after the first year, we're thinking, yeah, 4 years, that might be a bad contract in a couple of years. So I definitely understand that the contract's going to be bad right now, but at the time, with the information that I had, he was an 88 overall who had a max 47 points in his career. We had no idea he was going to grow to high elite and get a gold X Factor. So as much as it would have been great to sign him for 1 year or sign him for 8 years at like $7.5 million instead of having to sign him now at like 12 million or whatever it's going to be, I think it wouldn't really make sense, one, for him to just sign an 8-year deal with a team he's never played on and a city he's never been to, really, or and then also for us, we have no idea what we're getting with him. So I think a 4-year deal for him, or what was it, 4 years, 3 years, something like that, I think it makes sense for both parties, even if we have to pay him more now. And yeah, it's going to hurt for sure, but I think I think it was the most realistic thing we could do. All right, but now number 4, we need a change of philosophy when it comes to free agents and signing of the depth players for 3 reasons. We're currently spending $8+ million on players that will be scratched throughout the year and only play a handful of games if there are injuries. That makes no sense from a cap management standpoint, the player's own perspective, and 3, the good of the league and the franchise mode. And yeah, this is something that I hadn't actually considered. If you guys didn't notice, in the last one, I was completely out of it. Again, I'm not trying to make excuses for myself, but it was a long day. I came home after work. I had to get the recording done. Anyways, you guys don't really care about that, but I was not in the right headspace to do an episode, and I think it definitely translated. It was not my best free agency, and Alex is going to show you guys exactly why. The first point, Korchinski was available. He would have filled our biggest roster needs perfectly, and he would have only cost a couple of million more than the combined cap of Faber, Havlat, and Wallman, and the other healthy scratched players. In that scenario, the blue line would have been Stempniak, Mills, Korchinski, Shepard, and then the Targaryen and Kreitzer, right? Karlathy and Kreitzer. We could sign a couple of old 75, 77 overall two-way deals as depth. It might not be the organization or GM's philosophy to sign star players in free agency, and that's fine, but it makes just as little sense to sign a bunch of good NHL players only to scratch them. If neither option is good, it'd be preferable to sign neither stars nor depth players, player wealth of young guns, and then weaponize our cap space to fill roster needs via trades in season. So this is something that I definitely actually agree with Alex here with, is that Korchinski, for one, would have been a great addition, and number two, I really shouldn't be signing like 482 overall players and then just scratching them, because that makes no sense. I mean, those guys aren't going to want to be on a team where they don't get any ice time, right? So there's nothing I can do about it now, but in the future, we're going to make a rule where if, I don't know, we can only sign depth players if they're on a two-way deal, right? Something like that, just so then I don't have a stacked depth core, and that way we can bring up young players in the AHL to play some games as well, and it can be fun like that, where we can see if the young guns can produce even with their low overall, right? So I think that makes sense. So Alex kind of says the same thing that I just said here. He says, no legit NHLer would ever accept assuming a depth role for a full season and being healthy scratch throughout. Depth should be just that, depth, meaning old vets that are a foot out of the league or fringe players that are only good for a cup of tea in the NHL. Again, if we're not going to fully sign star players to fill our roster needs and build from the top down, that's okay, but there should be a rule that states we can't sign depth players that are asking for real NHL contracts either. Depth should be only players on two-way and minor league deals, and perhaps with the exception of old vets who are just about to retire, right? And I agree with this. It's kind of what I just said. His third point is that as a result of this change, we'd be forced to think about who we insert in the lineup in case of injuries. It would lead to maybe making more trades in the season because of injuries, things like that, if we deem our depth is not good enough to play, or perhaps it would force us to call up AHL rookies that we can play, and that would be fun for us as well. We could see guys' first games, we could give them 9-day tryouts, etc., etc., etc. Then his final comment here is a couple of suggestions. So that was more of a philosophical comment, but this one more about the suggestions. So number one, we shouldn't change our power play since the team was scoring 30% last year, so keep the power plays how they were. Number two, as for the top line, try Kennedy on the left and Svensson on the right. Essentially, we know that Kennedy is in a center, but we've never tried him on the left, so maybe if he's on the left, he gets more shots up because he's on his offside, and Svensson can pass the puck a little bit more, because Svensson last year had a really good goal scoring year, but he had a good assist year too, but he had a lot more goals than he had in previous years on the right, so we'll see if that change does anything. Number three, he's not against us keeping Shepard for half a season to figure out if he's indeed a number 2 or 3 D-man, or if he's like a number 4 kind of D-man with suboptimal skating and an awful puck skills for a top 4 D. Alex suspects that he's a top 4 D-man, but we shall see, and it gives us a chance to see how LA is doing, how Will Hoffman is doing, and to see if maybe they would be willing to make a trade with us. And then number 4, we should prioritize giving ice time to and growing our youth. Up front, perhaps it's time for the grinder Bomick to get his 9 games alongside of Shane Pinto and Tomasino and go from there if he does well. On the back end, we should know from past experience that low elite defensive defensemen don't grow super well, guys like Matt Stahl. And since Shepard is also a defensive defenseman, maybe an offensive defenseman, Kreitzer, should get a spot in the top 4. The point is that both the top 9 and top 4 have a glaring hole that is yet to be filled, and our youth should get the first shot at filling both. So, one very, very quick comment is Kreitzer is not an offensive defenseman. He's a two-way defenseman, but I will throw him up there and see if that does anything for us. Again, our blue line's looking a little bit weak, but it's not the end of the world, I don't think. I will also bring up Rocky Bomick in a second. Maybe we scratch Ehlers and we send him off to Carolina to go play with Kyle Connor or somebody like that. Just give me a second. Because I signed too many people last season, I do want to bring some people up. I want to bring Eric Dowd up and Rocky Bomick both up to the NHL, but it means I'm going to have to send down Jake Wallman and Tyler Boucher. Boucher will probably just end up trading him because we have enough depth on this team. We'll just trade him for a 7th though, because I don't want to be accused of cheesing the system just because I made a mistake. I signed too many players. I shouldn't have done that. So we're going to trade Boucher out. Also Wallman. Actually, let's just trade Boucher right now. I'm just going to trade him for a 7th or something, and then I'll bring these players up. One sec. Okay, so Boucher here, he has a ton of value, Tyler Boucher. I don't really know why. He's at 81 overall. Maybe, I have no idea why. Maybe it's because his physical is high or something like that. I have no idea why his value is so high, but we're not going to get anything more than a 7th for him. I mean, we could probably get a 2nd maybe for him, maybe like a medium elite player. Like, it's crazy. His value is insane for some reason, but we're just going to trade him out for a 7th and see what Columbus has to say to this. The reason is we're going to Columbus is because they actually need some forwards as well. So, like, they have, what do their forwards look like? They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then he would slot in 9th. So he would be right in that 3rd line where he should be. He's also playing with some decent young players, so we'll see if he can thrive out here in Columbus. What do you say? It's going to be a walk in the park. Yeah, we make out like gangbusters. There you go. And now I'm going to make those roster moves. So Jake Wallman's going to go down, and Eric Dowd and Rocky Bomick are both going to come up. They don't need waivers. Wallman needs waivers. If somebody picks Jake Wallman up on waivers, so be it. But I don't think they will, and they do not. So now, let me just best lines in the AHL for now, and I'll show you what the NHL lines we're going to rock with are going to be. Okay, boys, so these are going to be the lines. We're going to throw Rocky Bomick on the 4th line. He's a grinder. He fits the 4th line quite well, actually. And he fits the 3rd line well as well. And then we're going to go Eric Dowd on the 3rd line. I know Alex said to go Eric Dowd on the 1st line, but Eric Dowd on the 3rd line. Look at those puck skills. Look at that defense. The only thing holding him back is his skating. So I'm actually going to throw this guy on the power play, I think, and see if he can get any power play points with us. So our power play, we're going to have Stempniak with Dowd on the blue line over here. And then our 1st line units, Alex did say to make some slight changes. So let me do that. All right, also, guys, it's time to say goodbye to Nikolai Ehlers here. He's 81 overall, but he's 36 years old. He's had an incredible career with us. You know, we really shouldn't have re-signed him at all, so we're just going to pretend like we didn't re-sign him, but here he is. He's played 1,256 games in the blue and white. He has 1,020 points, an insane career from him. He was usually hovering around that 70-point mark around this in his prime. He had a great year in year number 2 where he was above point per game. But yeah, this guy, he's been clutch for us. He's been amazing. In the playoffs, he was insane in the year we won the Stanley Cup, and then the first year we won it as well, he was great. That year we went to the Western Conference Finals, he was pretty good as well. So this guy was a playoff performer for us. He was a regular season performer for us. He was really holding down that 2nd line, and we're sad to see him go, but he has to, and we're going to just give him to Carolina where he can play with Kyle Connor over here. They're listed as sellers, but I think they'll be okay with picking up an 81 overall Nikolai Ehlers to play with Kyle Connor. And Ehlers, I wish you nothing but the best in what could be your last season. Thank you very much. Fans are going to be cheering through the streets. Yeah. All right, boys, so we've got our new lines. I'll switch up Kennedy and Svensson here, like Alex said, and we'll see now if these guys can get it done for us. We'll look at Eric Dowd. We'll look at Rocky Bomick. They've got 9 games to impress me, so let's see what they can do in those 9 games. Let's take a look. First 2 games, we have a bit of a road trip here to start off the season, but that's okay with me. Up against the Chicago Blackhawks and the LA Kings. Let's see what we can do here. Chicago, that's a 6-5 loss. LA, that's a 4-3 win. Okay, we are 1-1-1 after 3 games. Let's keep this rolling here and see if we can get some wins on the board. That's a 5-2 win, followed by a 4-2 win. Now we are in a wild card spot. Okay, I'm liking this. First 2 games, a little shaky, a lot of goals, but we've kind of buckled down here since then. This is the 5th game, 6th game. So let's see the Seattle game. We can go see Liam Carlson here once again. So up against Dallas, Fleischmann. They want Fleischmann in a 3rd for Kulich and John Marino. Are you smoking, Buffalo? Oh my gosh, that's insane. Got 6-5 loss to Dallas, another huge, high-scoring game anyways. 3-2 overtime loss to the Avs. A lot of points that we're getting, but not many wins here. And then a 6-1 loss to San Jose. Now we see Seattle here, who are 7-2. Oh my gosh, they're tearing it up. All right, so this is the 8th game of the 9-game tryout for these two rookies. So let's see if they can maybe get any points here in this one. Let's see, up against Seattle, obviously Liam Karlsson trade is very prevalent here. So let's see what we can do. Anthony's going to score on Seelovs. First period's going to finish 1-1 as Philip Tomasino gets a goal on Jeremy Swayman. Perhaps Eric Dowd gets a point off that. Second period now, 2-2. Okay, Cole Perfetti scores, but so does Roger McQueen. And the third period is now underway. We are being almost tripled in shots. You love to see it, boys. Luckily, Seelovs is playing insane. Otteries is going to get one on him, though. And what, do we just decide not to show up? What's going on here, boys? And I do not like how this, how we're simulating here early in the season. I do not like that whatsoever. We might have to make some changes here because I'm not liking this record that we've got. Although Seelov has just made 45 saves. So, yeah. That's crazy. Okay. How did the rest of the boys do down here? Let's see. Patrick had a point. Eklund, Tomasino, Perfetti, Svensson. Eric Dowd was a -1. Melvin Barker was a -1. Rocky only played 5 minutes. Did he get a hit? He got a hit in there in 5 minutes. We'll take that. Okay. Yeah, nothing. I mean, it was a close game. We just ended up losing it. That's okay. You're gonna lose some games here, but I just don't like the fact that we're 3-3-3, to be honest. Where's the wild card spot? The wild card spot is 12 points is the lowest wild card spot. Okay, so we're kind of in trouble. I mean, we're not out of it, but we are definitely behind that spot. How's Calgary doing? They are horrible. Okay, let's beat the Calgary Flames here, although if we didn't have so many overtime losses and shootout losses, we would have the same record as them. Let's go beat these guys. Come on, boys. Let's step onto the ice. Let's be confident. Let's go. First period, that's 1-0 for us. It's William Eklund scoring on Dustin Wolf. Second period, now it's 2-1 for us. Eklund gets his second of the night. And now the third period is underway. Come on, boys. Let's continue this momentum that we've got here. Power play opportunities are aplenty. Elliot Patrick's going to score on Dustin Wolf. Thank goodness. The power play steps up for us. That's great. I wonder how good the power play is performing right now. I wonder if Eric Dowd is contributing to it at all. His puck skills were crazy, so I threw him up there. I think it was fair enough. And his offensive awareness is also insane. That's a good win. 3-1 win. That is a very good win. It's going to build some confidence with us. I meant to click 3 stars, but I couldn't. So that's 9 games for the rookies. Let me see where they're at. All right, so let's start at the top here. Sam Kennedy's a -1. Okay, he does have 6 goals, 1 assist, though, so that's pretty good. He has 7 points in, I guess, 9 games played because he didn't have any goals or any points in the first. Or, yeah, he had 1 point, right? Yeah, I think he did. But why is this first line minus? What is going on? Why are they minus? That's unexpected. Okay, and the second line's also minus. What the? Dude, okay, so my top 6 is being horrible? What is this? Okay, third line time now. Eric Dowd has 4 points, and he's a +6. He's 4 points in 9 games, and he's a +6. Yeah, you're staying. He has 1 power play goal as well. He's staying. Eric Dowd is staying up here. Shane Pinto's doing well. So is Philip Tomasino with 8 points in 10 games on the third line. Beautiful. The fourth line now, 2 points for Brennan Othman, -1. 1 point for Wyatt Johnston. 2 points for Rocky Bomick, +3. Let's go, Rocky. Rocky's also staying up here for a little bit. Maybe if we start to fall off, we can change these guys. But for right now, they are playing well. They can't skate to save their lives, but boy, they have great puck skills out there. I don't know what to say. They're playing well, so I'm going to keep them on the roster for right now. All right, advance the day. I've got to do some scouting, but I'll be right back with you guys, and I'll get simulating some calendar time. All right, boys, scouting is done, and one quick change I'm going to make is I'm just going to move Cole Perfetti down to the second line. William Eklund's going to go up to the first line, and the reason is I don't like how these lines are playing, so I'm just going to swap center, see if that makes a difference here. So we're going to have Eklund with Kennedy and Svensson. Second line will be Melvin Barker with Elliot Patrick and Cole Perfetti. So let's see if that makes any difference in our play here right now. We are technically above NHL 500, but we're 4-3-3. Let's try to get on a bit of a winning streak here. We have a couple of, well, Arizona's a tough game, but then we go into some teams that are a little bit below 500, so let's get on a run here. Arizona, I'm okay with a loss to them, but then let's get some wins. Shootout loss. Again, with the past regulation losses, man. I cannot deal with this. Okay, there's a 5-2 win. Good. Let's build off that now. 2-1 win. 3-2 shootout loss. We're in a wild card spot, but just barely. Now, Chicago, they're a poor team. Seattle's a good team. team. Let's keep it rolling here. No, I don't want this trade. Let's see. Chicago, that's a 5-2 loss. Seattle, that's a 3-2 loss. And now we're back outside of a wild card spot. And we play Minnesota. And Minnesota, they've got Zach Werenski on their team. So let's go play them. They are at the bottom of our division. Let's try to get a win here, boys. First period. Is Zach Werenski back in the building, or are we in Minnesota? I'm not entirely sure. Kaprizov and Chiarelli score. Melvin Barker gets us within one here with 48 seconds remaining in the first period. Come on, boys. Let's build off it. Second period now. 4-3. Elliot Patrick scores, and so does Stefan Kreitzer. But Moss scores 2 goals on Jesper Wallstedt, and Wallstedt's having a poor game here. See if the offense can take over for him. There's Kreitzer with his second of the game. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. And there's Sam Kennedy now who gets one. That's a 5-4 lead for us. Power play, huge kill for our penalty killers, and they are doing. Oh my god, it's so long. What did we do? Did we sleep with the ref's wife? Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. Third period is ours. We make a great comeback. 3 stars of the night are Mass with 2 goals, 1 assist. Stefan Kreitzer with 2 goals and 1 assist. Cole Perfetti with 3 assists. Beautiful game from us, and we're right back on the winning horse. Let's try to keep this momentum going now for once, boys. Come on. LA is a decent team. They're probably in the wild card hunt, right? Yeah, the LA Kings, they are definitely in the wild card hunt, so that's a big game there. Then we go see Florida, the Avs. Okay, interesting couple of games here that we've got. Also in the real world, there have been like 40 plus signings today. It's crazy what's been going on in the real world in the NHL. I could make a whole video on it. Oh my god, 9-1 loss? What is going on with this team? I mean, maybe we're not a playoff team this year, boys. Maybe we're not. Do I keep simulating? I mean, yeah, I kind of have to, huh? We gotta go at least halfway through the season, bro. Okay, let's do it. Let's do 2 games at a time here. Let's try it. There we go. 9-2 win. After a 9-1 loss, we get a 9-2 win. Love it. Toronto, it's a 5-4 loss. Okay, we're 1 point out of the wild card spot. That's not too bad. Montreal's an insanely good team. Holy smoke. 6-2 win against Toronto, so we split the series against Toronto. Then we have a 3-2 loss to Montreal. We just can't get on a streak. We just win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Unfortunately, though, Montreal's a very good team. That's not good. Let's go watch this game, huh? Yeah, let's watch this game. They're a really good team. We are in Winnipeg, up against the Canadiens. Let's go here, boys. First period, that's 1-1. Riley Kidney gets the goal, but then Aiden Stempniak ties us up at 1s. Second period, now that's 3-2 for the Canadiens. Elliot Patrick scores, but then Cole Caulfield and Valette get to past Wallstedt once again here. Power play opportunity for us in the third period. That goes nowhere. We have no clutch on this team. Who's surprised? Come on, boys. Third period is underway. Let's get some offense rolling. Let's go. Halfway through the third period. 5 minutes from Joshua Roy. Oh my goodness. And maybe we're not a good enough team. Maybe we're just not a good enough team here. Let me check the defensive lines and see what's going on with them. 3 stars of the night if you're interested. Guzda, Waugh, and Svensson there. All right, let me check these lines. See if it's the top 6, if it's the bottom 6 now. What is going wrong with us? Okay, so the first line is now plus 11. So the first line is doing great things. That's good. The second line, though, is horrendous. What is going on? The third line, sorry, they're still okay. Eric Dowd, 10 points, plus 2. That's fine. Shane Pinto, 12 points, plus 2. Philip Tomasino's got 11. So Philip Tomasino's really falling off, but only a -2 is not the end of the world. Brennan Othman's a -4. Wyatt Johnson's a -3. But Rocky Bomik's a +3 with 7 points. Okay. Interesting. So I got to make some changes here with this second line, because the second line is brutal. Maybe do we get a playmaker on the second line? Maybe we go playmaker here, so we get Tomasino with 2 snipers. See if that helps. Melvin Barker then comes down to the third line. He only has 16 points and 25. What's his contract? Melvin Barker's contract 5.425. I mean, it's not crazy, I guess. Defensively, what are we looking like? Stempniak's a +8. Mills is a +8. Mills is, oh my, what is goal? Corbin Mills, baby. Oof. And he only has 4 power play points. So this guy has 19 regulation points. Oh, yes, that's what I'm talking about, Corbin Mills. Stefan Kreitzer, 6 points, +2. Joel Shepard, 6 points, 0. Okay, Joel, I would like to see a little more, I'm not going to lie. Third line, oh, yikes. Third line is not great. Brock Faber's a -8. Taro Karlathy's a -10. That's tough. So we're going to actually make a change here. Brock Faber's going to come out for Havlet. Havlet's going to get in there. Offensive defenseman with a defensive defenseman. We'll see if that works a little bit better. It just seems like there's like one line slowing us down, but everybody... Oh my god, the goalies also suck. That doesn't help. But it just seems like one line's holding us down. On the forwards, it's the second line, and on defense, it's our third defensive pairing. Everybody else seems to be doing okay, so I just need these guys to find their pace. We're a good team. We have good players. It's just we're not all clicking at the same time, it feels like. So we are on a Eastern road trip here. We played what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in a row against Eastern Conference teams. We're at the back half of it, but let's see if we can get some wins now. Florida, that's a 4-2 loss. Ottawa, that's a 3-2 shootout loss. And we effectively are... No, we're not out yet, but we really need to get some wins, boys. We need wins right now. Okay, 1 second. I have to make... I can't just let this keep happening. All right, boys, so looking at our numbers here, 3.41 goals for per game, 3.44 goals against. So our problem is goals against. We're scoring plenty of goals, more than enough goals to get us. I mean, look at this. Colorado's allowing like 0.12 goals more than they're scoring. So, I mean, for us, 0.03 more goals than we're scoring, and yet somehow we're getting destroyed, or somehow we're not in a playoff spot. I don't understand that. For the power play, 27% power play, goated. Penalty kill, 81%. That's pretty good. I don't know why this team sucks. I get we can't keep the puck out of the net, but I don't know why. Like, is it just the defense? We just need better defense? I don't know. I'm just going to keep the lines for now. We just got to simulate, man. We've got 14 games more that we've to go in this episode. I'm stumped, boys. I mean, I knew we weren't going to be a world beater. We weren't going to be the top of the division again, but look at this. So many shootout and overtime losses. I guess that's kind of keeping us in the hunt, but I mean, if even half of these shootout overtime losses were wins, we would be 15, 10, and 8-4, and we would be I don't know, we would just be in a much better place. We would be like 4th in the division. We would have the wild card spot probably. We're getting kind of unlucky. I don't like to use the luck card very often. Oh my god, Tampa's 5-22-2? Is this the worst season of all time? Holy jeez, okay. Like, I don't like to say that, oh, we're just getting unlucky. I don't like to use that card very often, but it feels like that's what's happening right now. Shootout and overtime losses are really killing us here. Luckily, we're on a 3-game winning streak now, the first one of the season. Unfortunately, it comes at a time when everybody else is winning around us, so that's not great. But let's keep it rolling here. Tampa, they are horrible. Don't lose to... There we go. 11-2 against Tampa. 2-1. Now we're on a run, boys. Now we are on a run. We're in a wild card spot. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. Let's keep going here. These are 2 beatable teams as well, so let's try to beat them both. Let's go. That's a 7-6 overtime loss to the Islanders, but followed up with a win against Vegas. Let's keep winning, boys. Let's keep winning, or at least keep trying to win here. Oh yeah, we're gonna go see Carolina. That's Kyle Connor out here. That is Kyle Connor on this team. Oh my gosh, 4-1 win. Let's go. Washington. That's a 4-0. Sometimes, boys, you just gotta slow down. Sometimes you just gotta slow down. All right. I was rushing through a little bit too much. Take a break. Let's look at the lines. Let's take a look at the stats. What's going on, and just have a little chat with the team. Hey, boys, look at all the numbers say we're doing all right. All right. Yeah, maybe we're allowing a little bit more, but let's buckle down defensively. Let's make some slight changes, some depth moves here, and look what happens. Now we're like, what are we in our last 10? We've got to be like 8-2-0 in the last 10 or something like that. We're 8-0-2 in the last 10, so we have points in our last 10 games. That's fantastic. But I did just remember something. Since we're playing the Carolina Hurricanes, we're playing Kyle Connor in this one. I remember since we traded, we're also playing Nikolai Ehlers, I suppose. But since we traded Ehlers, we have an alternate captain that we have to assign. So Svensson's got one. And you know what? He's been playing lights out this entire season. We're going to give the other alternate to Corbin Mills. This guy was on a rampage. I don't know if he's still going insane, but last time I checked his stats, he was almost point per game. He's doing his thing. Corbin Mills is getting the other A, boys. That's right. I said it. Now, game 38 up against the Carolina Hurricanes. We get to see Kyle Connor. We get to see Nikolai Ehlers. Let's have a blast. They get welcomed back in Winnipeg. It's an emotional ceremony that we have for them in the first TV timeout for both of them at the same time. You know, they're hugging on center ice. We get up, we shake their hands. You know, just real sportsmanship being shown here in Winnipeg. But now we've got to go beat them into the ice. First period, okay, 0-0 tie. Second period now, 2-2. All right, Matt Svensson scores. Vossinar ties it up. Elliot Patrick scores, and then of course he does. Kyle Connor gets one pass he loves. He knows his weaknesses. He's played against him, or played with him, I should say, for a couple of years. He knows what he's about. Third period is underway here, boys. Don't be brought down by your emotions. Let's use those emotions to elevate our game. Let's show Kyle Connor what he's missing here in Winnipeg. Not that, not that we don't like the guy. We love him, obviously. He's our man, but we gotta beat him tonight. All right, it's a third period here, and Corbin Mills, the current alternate captain, he just got his captaincy right before the game, and then Eric Dowd, the rookie, is gonna get the empty netter to give us the 4-2 win. And Seelovs makes 38 saves on the night. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Let's go. Mills with a goal, Svensson with a goal, Seelovs 38 saves. Thank you very much. We'll take that to the bank. 3 more games until the halfway point, and we've really crawled out of this deficit that we were in to start. Oh my gosh, it's great. I love to see it. Minnesota, they're a bad team. But they do have Zach Werenski, so he could light up for 5 points. I guess we'll have to see here. That's a 3-2 win. Okay, the winning streak continues for us. The winning streak still continues. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in a row here, and we are now in a divisional playoff spot. Although it's not very comfortable, I will say. We've battled, but we are not comfortably in a divisional playoff spot, boys. Do not get complacent here. We've got to keep this streak going. The last game of the video will be up against the Boston Bruins, who have a very similar record to us. So let's see what we can do here. First period, that's 2-1 in our favor. Corbin Mills scores once again, then William Eklund gets one as well, and Alvestad gets a power play goal past Wallstedt. All right, good first period. Let's keep it up. Second period, 3-1 for us. Cole Perfetti scores on Patera, and the third period is now underway. We are out shooting them by about 8 shots here, but Philip Hronik's going to score on Jesper Wallstedt to bring the Boston Bruins within 1. They now have a power play opportunity here. We kill that off, but then Alvestad gets his second of the night, and this game is tied at 3, and then Ryan Lindgren's going to score, but Sam Kennedy puts a stop to that. Good. And then Matt Svensson, the first line, comes alive here late in the third period. They score within 5 seconds of each other. I don't know how they got down the ice in 5 seconds. They put on the Turbo Jets, but it's going to allow the Winnipeg Jets, ooh, pun not intended, to get the win in this one. So an insane way to end the simulation of this episode, I must say there. Eklund with 3 points, Svensson with 2 points, Alvestad had 2 goals. Let's take a look at what the other guys did, the depth guys here. Stefan Kreitzer, an assist, -1. Brennan Othman with an assist. Did anybody not have? Yeah, there's a couple of guys without points. Tiro Kalathi +1, Melvin Barker +1, Elliot Patrick -1, Stempniak +2, Rocky Bomick. Did you have any hits, Rocky? No, he didn't. Okay. Fair enough. It's okay. He can't be brutalizing people every game. General Zod out there, if you know, you know. Okay. So that's good. We are in a playoff spot. 41 games in. We are 22-10-9. We are on pace to go 44-20-18. 18 overtime/shootout losses would be nuts. That'd be absolutely insane. So let's take a look at the stats. We do the team stats first. Let's go through the entire league. Let's see where we rank in the entire league. Montreal having a world-ending season. Oh my gosh, they are lighting it up. And remember how usually our division is the one that's up here? Well, times change, and now it's the I guess our division's still up here, man. Two of the top 5. Same thing with the Atlantic division, Ottawa and Montreal over here. Interesting stuff. We are the 8th best team in the league. Oh my gosh. Okay. I was not expecting that. I was expecting like 12, 13, something like that. No, we're the 8th best team in the league. We are 22-10-9. We are scoring 3.93 goals for per game. That is the 3rd best in the entire league. We're allowing 3.22 though. That's, the middle of the pack here. So we're the 17th best defensive team. So yeah, just about halfway in the league here. Our defense is not our strong suit now. Our power play has been slowing down recently, but still a top 3 power play in the league. That's good. And our penalty kill has stayed just about where it was at 81%. That leads us at, where are we here? What is this? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, the penalty kills are actually pretty good. We're like 20th or so in the league. And our last 10, we've got to be the best. Yeah, we are the hottest team in the NHL right now. We're good on the road as well. We are, it's hard to tell with the records, but we're a pretty good road team. So that's where the team stats are looking like. I'm liking how we're performing team-wise. Let's look at individually now. And it's William Eklund who's on pace for 92. Same thing with Mats Svensson, and Cole Perfetti is on pace for 88. Finally, his plus-minus is looking a little bit better here. He's -4 now instead of being like 15 or whatever he was before. So good to see him playing a little bit better here. Sam Kennedy's on pace for 80. He's on pace for 38 goals, 80 points. He's a plus 20 though, obviously being helped out a lot by Eklund and Svensson. But I'll take an 80-point season for Sam Kennedy. And Corbin Mills. Alex, you showed faith, and boy, were you right to do so. Corbin Mills is on pace for 72 points. That might be a franchise record. I'm going to check. All right, so I just realized we can't see... I wish we could. I wish EA would fix their game. But we actually can't see records by defensemen, centers, left wings, right wings, things like that. We can't really optimize our franchise mode. But if I'm thinking correctly, I believe Josh Morrissey had our record before, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just assuming based on the franchise mode numbers, and I think he had something like 70. He was in the 70s, I think, 76, 77, something like that. So I think Corbin Mills has a shot at it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Look in the history books, all you historians down there, and take a look, see if who's leading all time in Winnipeg points for a single season for defensemen, and get back to me. All right, Elliot Patrick, he's got 20 goals. He's on pace for 40. Not the same as his 50-goal season last year. Also only 31 points, on pace for 62. Is not bad. Could be better though. And then Philip Tomasino on that second line, he's on pace for 56. Eric Dowd is on pace for 50 points in 40 games in his rookie season. That is what I'm talking about, Eric Dowd. Let's go, bro. And he's a +5. Melvin Barker's on pace for 48 points. Melvin, I'm going to need more out of you, kid. I'm going to need more out of you. 48 points, that's a bad season for somebody who just got signed to a $5.425 million deal. That's not ideal. Although it's pretty similar to what Philip Tomasino's getting, right? Isn't it? Yeah, it's a little bit more, but okay, pretty similar. But Melvin, I need you to produce a little bit more, bro, if you can. That would be nice. Shane Pinto, 20 points, on pace for 40. That's great for his cap hit. Brendan Othman, 16 points, on pace for 32 as a fourth liner. Beautiful. Aiden Stempniak, 16 points. Great. Wyatt Johnston, 14. That's fine. Stefan Kreitzer with 12 on the second line. It's okay. Rocky Bomick, 11 points, +8 for Rocky. Philadelphia loves this guy, and so does Winnipeg right now. Look at his stats. He's all over the place. His defense is good. His puck skills are really good. His senses, his offensive awareness is great. His poise sucks. This guy can't strap on the skates. He needs his dad to come into the locker room to help him do it. His shooting category, he's playing with a mini stick out there, but somehow he's got the senses of a god. I don't understand. I don't understand, man. It makes no sense. Joel Shepherd, 9 points, -3. So Joel Shepherd, yeah, it's not great, right? On a team that's doing quite well, Joel Shepherd's -3. That stands out. That definitely stands out. Rocky, how many hits does Rocky have, by the way? Rocky's got, hang on, 26 hits in 40 games. Come on, Rocky, you're better than that. You're get out there, man. Go hit somebody. That's what you're here for. Tero Karlathy, on the other hand, he's now a +2. He's also a 80 overall now. He was, I believe, 78, 79 to start the season. So he's doing well alongside of Matthias Havlid, who picked up the spot instead of Brock Faber, who was in there. He was a -8. Now we've got Havlid in there instead. So these two guys kind of trading chances. And then McConnell Barker, he played one game and then he got scratched. So I'm liking what the team is doing so far. We got to keep it up, though, going into next episode. Jesper Wallstedt's playing horribly as per usual. And then Artur Silovs, whenever we go in, Silovs seems to be shutting it down. So Wallstedt, I need you to pick it up, bro. Please and thank you. Although it was very hard in EA world, so I'm not holding it against you. Looking around the entire league now, we see... Austin Matthews on pace for 136 points. McDavid on pace for 130. Not exactly, of course, because they played 44 and 43 games, but you guys know. Sean Farrell's on pace for 120. Wait, what? Why does this... Oh, EA. Another game, another glitch, boys. Every time I sit down to record, there's a glitch here. I'm on Anton Lundell's character. For some reason, it's showing me Rocky Bomick in the top of my screen. So apparently, Rocky Bomick, he's got 20 goals, 40 assists as a 75 overall, 22-year-old rookie. Yeah, that would be nice. I would like those stats if he could do that for us. That would be nice. But no, this is Anton Lundell. Okay, it's just forever glitched. Look at this. Look at this. I go up to Sean Farrell, I come back down, it's Rocky Bomick instead of Anton Lundell. But we know, we're smart, we can figure out EA's broken game. It takes a calculus 3 degree to do it, but anybody can figure this thing out. So Anton Lundell, there we go, 60 points in 43 games, good for him. Leo Carlsson now 58 points in 44 games. Timo Meier 57 and 44. Cole Caulfield 54. A lot of guys above point per game here. It's quite interesting to see, I shall say. Sam Reinhart just re-signed with Florida, by the way. I'd love to see that for any Florida Panther fans. Jesperi Kotkaniemi in Calgary has 53 points and 45. How? He's an 89. What? Bro, this game is wild. Okay, Gavin McKenna, Mitch Marner, those guys make sense. Matthew Tkachuk, that makes sense. Cale Makar makes sense. Jason Robertson, sure. We won't talk about this guy. Jacob Verana, Rupe Hintz, Daniel Sprong, Connor Bedard. Okay, let's take a look at goals now. Who's leading the league in goals? It's Austin Matthews, on pace for like 80 goals. Oh my god, this is historic. Austin Matthews is on pace for just about 80 goals. That would be... I've never seen numbers like that in franchise mode. I've literally never seen numbers like that in franchise mode, so that would be insane. Looking at defense now, of course, it's Cale Makar leading the way, followed by Jamie Drysdale, Quinn Hughes, and then it's Corbin. So Corbin Mills is the 4th best defenseman in the league right now, boys. You just got to give them the chance. You give him the chance and he'll run with it. He said, you know, I asked somebody to step up and he said, don't worry. If you give me the chance, I will not let you down. Thank you very much. Liam Carlson's... Wait, what? Wait, what? What? Liam Carlson's in Buffalo? What? So, what? Wait, hang on. I'm not insane, am I? Wait. We traded Liam Carlsson to Seattle. Seattle kept him for 2 years. Did they trade him or did he just sign in Buffalo? What is going on? Liam Carlsson signed a $10.395 million deal for 5 years in Buffalo. I don't know if it was in restricted free agency or if... So Liam Carlson's on the same team that drafted Sam Kennedy. This is such a weird trifecta of moves that happen. So we trade Gabriel Velarde and 2 medium elite players to Buffalo for Sam Kennedy. We then trade Liam Carlsson for Corbin Mills to Seattle. Seattle then trades or allows Buffalo to sign Liam Carlsson. So it's this weird trifecta, man. What is going... Oh my... Okay, so Liam Carlson's having a great season as well over in Buffalo. Holland Zellweger, Moritz Seider, Henry Muse. Henry Muse is like 80 overall, and he's... Sure, whatever. He has more points than Adam Fox. Yeah, that makes sense. Miro Heiskanen, Son Jersey. Okay, all these other guys down here. Goalies... What's going on for goalies? Sebastian Cosa's doing his thing. So is, of course, the former Winnipeg Jet Greaves, now having an insane season. Spencer Knight, Mac Guzda, Thatcher Demko, Hugo Allenfeld. You know who's not up here? And we're not surprised by it? Jesper Wallstedt, because this man, whoa, he can't stop a beach ball right now. Here he is. Jesper Wallstedt, .898 save percentage. Does he have the worst save percentage amongst goalies who have played 30-plus games? Let me see it, game. Let me see it. Oh, he's not. He's like 5th, or he's like 6th worst, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he's 6th worst. All right. Oh, but also Punanovs. Wait, was Punanovs the guy that we drafted? No, he was drafted by Tampa. But we do have somebody who was drafted here. Maybe not in this list. Anyways, Jesper Wallstedt not having a fantastic season, although he's got a good record, right? So, like, look at all the records above him. These guys are playing on horrible teams. 12-22, 12-19, 10-18, 13-15, 14-13. Jesper Wallstedt, 19-9. It's so weird. He's on such a good team and he has such horrible numbers. I don't understand it. Looking at rookies around the league now, we've got James Foster, this guy, 20th overall pick in 2030. Yeah, he's doing his thing. Ilya Afanasenko, 3rd overall selection this year. Nice for Dallas. Blake Von Arx, this guy who was drafted in 2030 is now just getting the opportunity to play, and he's showing Arizona, yeah, I should have been playing this whole time for the last 3 years, and I might be like an 88 overall by now. But instead, you only have me playing this year, and I'm only an 85, you jerks. Eric Dowd is then, oh my gosh, Eric Dowd, who wasn't even on the opening night roster, 78 overall. But look at those stats. This guy could be a second liner for us. Do we put him up to the second line and move down Philip Tomasino to play with Melvin Barker? So Melvin Barker has a glorified playmaker. Eric Dowd goes up to the second line to prosper off of Cole Perfetti and Elliot Patrick. Just a guess, or just a suggestion. I don't know. The rest of these guys down here, yeah, we don't know any of them. All obviously, Dylan Baker, former draft pick from the Winnipeg Jets. Dylan Baker, he's in LA now. 10 goals, 10 assists, 20 points in his rookie season so far. Obviously, Eric Dowd is doing his thing for us, but Dylan Baker looks like a good player as well. Congratulations to him. Also, I don't actually remember why we traded Dylan Baker. We must have... What did we trade him for? With LA. What did we... We didn't get Will Hoffman. So what was the big trade we made with LA? What was it? I don't remember why we traded Dylan Baker. I really don't. I gotta keep a spreadsheet of all the moves that I make so that I can just go in the history books and look at it. But yeah, I have no idea why we traded Dylan Baker. No idea. But either way, it's been a good season so far. It's been a pretty good season. We'll take a look at LA. We'll take a look at all the other trade blocks as well, and we'll see where Will Hoffman's playing, all this stuff. But first, let's take a look at the trade blocks, see who's on the block, who's not on the block, things like that. Anaheim's got no one. Arizona's got no one. Boston with no one. Buffalo, they've got their whole team on the block here. Kulich, Peyton Krebs, Owen Power, who we were considering. Owen Power, a good deal for the next 3 years. That would be a lot of value, but could get it done. Gabriel Velarde, not going to touch him. Tage Thompson, no thanks. Artem Zub, okay. Calgary now, no thanks. Carolina, they've got Cody Glass, Blake Lazar, Kyle Connor. No, we're not bringing Kyle Connor back. Lucas Cormier, Jeremy Poirier. Nikolai Ehlers is playing AHL time. Come on, Carolina. Throw this man up into the NHL, bro. Throw him up there. Okay, some depth players there. Chicago, they've got Brendan Hagel, Furcus, and Ryan McLeod. Interesting. Nobody in Colorado. Columbus, Aturatu, Jacob Chikrin, who just got traded in the real world. Jordan Dumont, Patrick Laine. We were considering Patrick Laine for the third line. I'm not sure about it now, though. Tyler Boucher's on the block, and of course now his value is horrible. Dallas Stars, Barrett Hayton is an 87 overall. That would be nice in the real world, wouldn't it? Logan Stankoven, does he have an extension? Yes, he does, so we're not going to touch him. Texier, Tippett, all these guys here in Dallas. Brad Lambert was there. I saw Brad Lambert. Do we bring Brad Lambert back? He's not having a horrible season either, so Brad Lambert. But again, do we really want to make a big trade like that with a divisional team? Not that Brad Lambert's a big player, but you guys know what I'm saying. We don't exactly like moving assets to teams in the West, right? It's always a little scary there. Nashville, Daniel Sprong, and Philip Keel, and Elias Lindholm will also... Didn't Elias Lindholm sign with Nashville in free agency? It was like a $7 million deal or something like that. I think he did. I'm pretty sure he did, but I could be wrong. I mean, there are so many moves that happen. Trying to remember all of them is insane, right? The Rangers, Keandre Miller, Cedric Guindon, and then all these other guys. Ottawa Senators, nobody. Philadelphia Flyers, no. Pittsburgh, nope. San Jose, Seattle. Connor Zary's here in Seattle. Okay. But he's not that young anymore, I guess. St. Louis, Zachary Bolduc, Raphael Lavoie. Okay, Henry Jokiharju's there as well. Tampa has nobody. Toronto, not really any names that I'm that interested in, to be honest. I would be more interested in defensemen, but there doesn't seem to be that many available. Vancouver, no. Vegas, no. Washington. Okay, so there's some depth pieces, but nobody that I'm that interested in. Let me take a look at the LA Kings and see what their lines are looking like. So LA, we can see their forwards. Their defense, though, Will Hoffman, how is he playing? 14 points, 40. So this is somebody that they would be willing to move on from Will Hoffman. I can guarantee you that. And Will Hoffman wants to leave, probably. He's 24. He's an 88 overall. His career high is 23 points. He's looking to beat that this year. Or sorry, it's 24 points, I guess. You know, he's looking to beat that, but at the same time, he's not exactly having an insane season. He has really good stats, but he's just not playing that well. If he was playing with us, we would give him time with Corbin Mills. But do we want to make that move? Because Corbin Mills is now having the season of his life playing with Aiden Stempniak. So do we want to move that? And if we don't, we can't get Will Hoffman, because Will Hoffman wouldn't want to come to our team to just play second line minutes where he's already playing that with LA. You know? That wouldn't make sense for him. Why would he want to do that? It would not make sense, in my opinion. Maybe the argument could be, he would want to because now he's on a better team that actually has a chance to make a run in the playoffs, something like that maybe. So he wants a better opportunity, I guess. What's his contract also? Is he on a 3-year, 8.9? It's not that crazy. So yeah, we could look for Will Hoffman. Let's see what the value would look like. You guys let me know. Or do we just keep Joel Shepherd, who is playing not great by any means? Actually, he's playing pretty bad on the second line. But would Will Hoffman want to give up his spot in LA just so that he can play the very similar spot here in Winnipeg? I don't. If I were Will Hoffman, I probably wouldn't want to come to Winnipeg to play the same time that I'm playing in LA. I just don't think it makes sense for him. But maybe the argument is there for you guys. So again, very, very similar trade value, very similar contracts as well. We can even get them to retain some salary if we wanted to. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day, but just saying. This is what the value looks like. Let me know what you guys think about this trade. And also, that's it, I think. That's it for this episode. So, if you guys like to give it a like, comment if you are new, and subscribe to the channel. New videos come out Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. I hope you guys had a great time watching this one. I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.